Live.
What's up, lifers? Welcome back to 30 to Life. So let's get into this topic, man. I want to speak on the other car and gangs. On the streets, you know, a lot of Islanders and Asians, they grow up in certain neighborhoods, they grow up, you know, in this gang culture, and they adapt it as a way of life while they're on the streets. Now, I'm not no gang expert, and I wasn't involved in no Asian gangs or no Islander gangs or anything like that. But there's some hype on YouTube where a lot of the brothers that are from, you know, certain gangs like Crips and Bloods, they have issues with Islanders and Asians who go to prison and decide to ride with their peoples instead of riding with the gang thing. So, you know, I just want to kind of clear this up, and basically what I want to say is this. You'll have an Islander gang, right, that claims Crip. But before the Crip, you'll see Sons of Samoa, or you'll see Tongan Crip gang. You see what I'm saying? So for the brothers out there who are upset, you need to realize that these type of gangs, they're banging their race before the Crip or the Blood. And it's the same thing with the Asians. It's the same thing, you know what I mean? You got Cambodians who are Crips, but they always say Cambodian, you know, Crips or whatever, you know what I mean? They put their race in front of the Crip or the Blood. So when they do go to prison, it's obvious that, you know, before the gang shit, they represent their people. And so I want to clear that up for a lot of people who are on YouTube who are complaining about shit like that and saying, oh yeah, they want to give up the flag and run with their people. They have already been running with their people on the streets. Now, the other side of that whole thing is that you will see some Samoans and some Tongans and some Asians who are actually in predominantly black gangs, okay? And I'm not gonna put nobody's gang out there on blast or anything like that and say, you know, who's in what, but you all know what I'm talking about. And some of you brothers that, you know, are from those gangs where you have a Samoan partner or Asian partner within your crew, then you know. But you know that it ain't hella Samoans or hella Asians with you. You know, it's predominantly black and maybe a scattered few, you know, that are in the gang, right? So what happens is when we go to prison, then, you know, you have a choice. So basically, if you're in county jail, you know, I can see that you come, especially down south in LA and all that, I can see that you're going to be housing with your gang and things like that in county jail. But when you go to prison, especially California prison, it's different. California prison, you know, has different politics. They do have gangs and gang politics, but they also have race. So, you know, when you go in there, you're going to have, you know, they're going to ask you, you know, what are you? You know, if you're white, you're white. Okay, well, I'm white. You say I'm white. All right. Well, are you affiliated? Yeah, I affiliate with the Crips. Okay. So are you going with the whites or are you going with the Crips? You understand? And that's what happens. It's the same thing with the Asians and the Islanders. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that I want to make sure that you guys understand when you're trying to group, you know, these guys as part of gangs that are coming from predominantly black gangs. It's not always so true. It's not always necessarily true. Now, you're going to have every once in a while, and there are cases like this, of course, because I've met them, other Samoans or whatever, and Asians that are from black gangs who decide to go with their gang, you know. And so that's when you'll see an Islander or an Asian sold up, you know, with a black or whatever, you know, whoever's predominant, whatever their gang is. Okay. So it no longer matters to them about what race they are. They decided to ride with their gang. Okay. So that happens. Now, what does it look like from our point of view, from the other car? When we see that, nothing, man. We're not tripping on that dude. If anything, you know, I mean, we wish they was with us, you know, because we just feel like they're out of place. I mean, it just looks out of place too, you know what I'm saying? So we feel they're out of place. We feel they should come home, you know what I'm saying? But it's totally up to them. We're not tripping on them. We're not beefing with them. We're not beefing with their gang. We don't give a fuck. We are another car. And so the other car is made up of what? Everyone who is Islander and Asian. Simple as that, you know what I mean? So you're gonna have Samoans, Tongans, Hawaiians, any islanders in there, Fijian. You're gonna have Cambodians, Chinese, Thai, you know, Hmong. You're gonna have, you know what I'm saying, Vietnamese. You're gonna have every Asian, you know, within the car too. So the thing about us is when we come together, you know, and we have to drop the stuff, you know what I'm saying? So say like some of the homies that come in, they was with that gang stuff, but they decided to run with their people. Well, you know, you're gonna have some that were Crips and some that were Bloods on the streets. They ain't got no choice but to get along, you know what I mean? Because we short, and when we come together, we all got to look out for one another. Real shit. So if they have a problem with each other, like let's say something happened, which has happened before. For example, we had two Asian homies. One had killed the other homie's brother on the street. So they were from rival gangs. And so they hit the same yard. So, you know, we let them go ahead and get their little head up. You know what I mean? They got to get their little head up or whatever. Of course, the homie that lost his brother felt some type of way. He wanted more than just that, just a head up fade. But we wouldn't allow it. You know what I'm saying? Because we aren't going to sit here and fight one another. That's what we ain't going to do. We're short enough as it is. And, you know, everybody else on the fucking line is pretty much, you know, not our friends. They're against us, of course. You know, they're separate from us. So we have to stand up for one another. So we let them catch that fade. And then, you know, we could see that the one who lost his brother, he just was having a hard time letting it go. So, you know, what happened is we ended up having to split them, and we had to put one on one other yard and kept the other one here. And that's just how we had to do it, you know. But you allowed, when you come in, you know, with the others, you allowed to catch that fade if you got to do it, you know what I mean? But then that shit's got to go, you know what I mean? You're not going to stab, you know, the homie. We're not going to let you do that, you know what I'm saying? It's just the way it is. We're all one, we're all together. And, you know, if you want to bang, then you can go ahead and do your gang banging thing, you know what I mean? But once you're in the other car, all that shit stops, all right? So basically it's like that, man, and it's all love. And a lot of times you'll see these cats that have animosity with each other. It's the same thing. Next thing you know, they like best friends. You'll see a Samoan dude and Tongan dude who get along really good, man, and they kick it and they work out together every day, you know what I'm saying? They got a lot of shit in common. And so that's usually what happens, you know, within the car. You know, you start realizing how similar you are and how the gangs just pretty much separated y'all. Because that's what it does. Gangs don't do nothing for our communities. It does nothing but separate your people, hurt your people, and drag your community down. You know what I mean? And when it comes down at the end of the fucking day, we all eat fucking taro and corned beef. You know what I'm saying? We all eat fish. We love coconuts. We love it all. You know what I mean? We got the same foods in the house. You know, we just call it by a slightly different name. A lot of times our languages are very similar. And so, you know, we realize how much in common we have just with the upbringing, the way our parents raised us, the way our culture is. It's all pretty much the same. You know, we all look out for our family, respect our elders. Family is very important to us. Food, we love food, you know what I'm saying? And eating together is one of those things that just brings us together, where, you know, it's a common, you know, denominator between all of us. We're all one. And so, you know, I'm glad for the other car. I'm happy that the other car exists in prison, because I'm telling you, man, from our example, showing how much we can put our differences aside and come together. And whenever we had to go to war or anything like that, we didn't want to see each other go down. You know, there was so much pride in it. I don't care if you're Tongan. I don't care if you're Cambodian, Vietnamese. I don't give a fuck. You are my peoples. You my homie. And I'm not going to sit here and watch you go down. We going down together. And that's how it was, you know what I mean? And there's a sense of pride in that. There's a lot of unity in that. Our culture really shows when we have to, you know, bring the beast out in us. You know what I'm saying? You start to see, you know, what we truly are about. We are warriors, all of us. So, you know, coming together was one of the best things that could ever happen for us in the prison system. I wish I could see that more out here today on the streets, but unfortunately it's not like that. We allow the gangs to separate us, continuously separate us, and make us think that as if we're different. And it's sad. And it's sad when you see Asian people killing Asian people, and even Samoans and Tongans, Samoans killing Samoans. It's really sad. It's sad as fuck, because we all know, and if you're a PI, if you're Asian, you know, you hear me. I know you all hear me. Man, our culture ain't like that. And that's just the truth. You know what I mean? We weren't raised to be like that towards one another. So, you know, we get caught up in this Western culture, in this gang culture, and we divide our people even more. And it just really fucked up. Really is. And with that, you know what it is. Stay the fuck out of trouble.